Have you ever looked at your IB Language B question paper and just not understood it? And I don't mean not understand a few words here and there, because that's okay, but not understand 80% of what the questions are asking, not even understand what the paper is asking of you, and frankly, don't even understand half the words. So, if that's you, like it was me, that's a very good sign that your vocabulary is weak. Now, if that's the case, the paper can be especially stressful because you don't really know what to write. You don't even know what the questions are asking of you. So this video is going to show you how to drastically increase your vocab for your Language B exam. And most importantly, how to increase the right kind of vocab fast. Okay, so usually when people study vocabulary, they tend to just start memorizing hard words and hopefully, just hopefully, it fits somewhere in the test. And when you do, right, and when you find a word that fits, you give yourself a mental pat on the back and a job well done. And although that approach may be helpful, you're not always going to fit random words in your essay or in your question paper. So you don't want to just memorize any random word that you find, because not all of them are going to work that well in the context of your Language B course. You see, what you want are words that have these three characteristics. They help you answer the exam, they help you understand what the questions are actually asking, and the most important is that they are versatile enough so that you can keep on using them in multiple instances in your exam. And what's interesting about the IB Language B course is that the tests are centered around certain themes or subjects or areas of study. Now, what do I mean by that? For example, if you take out your past papers, sift through them, you'll find that a lot of questions come around the subject of health. A lot of questions come around the subject of media. And because of this, words that are associated with these subjects tend to show up more often than words that are not. So why is it like this? Well, if you open your syllabus guide for your subject and you scroll down to the part where it talks about core and additional topics. Sorry, I'm a bit slow and scrolling, and in life. All right, here it is. So if you go to these core and additional topics, these are essentially the topics that the course is structured around. And if you take out your past papers and you put them side by side with these topics, what you'll find is that almost all questions directly fall under these topics. Why is that? Well, because these are the topics that the course is structured around. So think about this. If that's the case, then it makes sense to learn words in these areas because they will show up more often and end up being more useful to you than other words in other areas. And think about this. If you know words in these categories, take for example, media, right? If you know subject-specific words in media, let's say you're doing Spanish B and you need to write an essay about your view of the media. And in your essay, you include the Spanish word for bias. You include the Spanish word for liberal. You include the Spanish word for censorship. Spanish words which aren't common, but when you use them in your exam, it takes your answer to another level. More specifically, it takes your answer to the level required by the IB. So it makes sense that we align our vocabulary learning with these topics. Now, here's the thing. Well, where do we start? How specific should we go in a topic? What's the level of depth? What's the level of difficulty that these words should be? And what I'm going to show you is going to help you figure all of that out. All right. This is what you're going to do. Take out all your past papers. Don't worry, we're not going to be attempting them. Okay, we're not answering any questions. Just open them up. Okay. Now, when you do that, get a highlighter and highlight every single word you don't know. And I'm not saying just words in your literal exam, not just literal questions, literally every single word that comes up in the exam, the instructions, the supplementary material, the text, the questions, every single thing, highlight. Okay, and you go through your exam and you highlight every single word that you don't know. I can't stress this enough. Highlight every single word you don't know. Even if that's a small instruction like texto. If you didn't know what texto meant, highlight that. And literally, I can't stress this enough, highlight everything. And what is most important? All right, what's the most important in doing this? Highlight everything you don't know. Okay, every question, every article, every reference material, everything. Do this for all the past papers from your last syllabus change. So it could very well be 6 years of past papers, both May and November papers. Now, after you've highlighted everything, and I mean everything, go to the website called Quizlet. Make an account, sign up. When you do this, you're going to be presented with your account. Now, when you do this, what you have to do is you need to go to your study sets, and for every single one of those words that you made, what you're going to do is you're going to enter them in these, and you're going to make flashcards. So like texto, I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming texto means text. And maybe you didn't know another word called hola, right? I'm assuming hola means hello. And what you do is you do this for every single word that you highlighted. Over time, you're going to have, if you're really bad, you may have over 500, 1,000 words that you don't know. And if you're really good, you may only have 20 words. And with that, what you're going to do is you're going to create these study sets that you're going to use to study. So the way this works is that you have these two words, right? So the way you study, hopefully you'll have like 100, 200, 300 words. But the way you study is very simple. Now I only have 2 words. So what I'm going to show you a small trick is you can search on Google IB Spanish vocab, and a ton of Quizlet IB Spanish collections come out. And it's really cool because a lot of students do this. So you can see that this person has 215 terms. Now this is important, right? Use this as a last resort, because honestly, you don't just search IB Spanish on Quizlet and find flashcards made by another person, because those are made by a person who has a different level of understanding than you and whose weaknesses in vocab aren't the same as you. So you still have to go into your past paper and highlight everything. You highlight everything, put all the words you highlighted into one column, put all the English equivalents to another column, and make flashcards. So let's say that this is what I made. No, this is made by Taganj99. Alright, so he made all these words, right? So what you can do, what's cool about Quizlet is that when you learn, there are a couple of options, a couple of things that you can do. So obviously if you told me to learn 215 words right out of the bat, right, straight away, I wouldn't be able to do that. So what I recommend is you star the first 20 words, or the first 10 words, whatever works for you. How many words do you think you can handle to learn in a week? So let's say I start 8, let's do 2 more. And what you do is when you're doing flashcards, you click flashcards, you click the option over here, go to option, alright, I've turned the volume off, and you click study starred only. So when you do study starred, now your collection of flashcards drops from 215 to only 10. So for this whole week, all you do is learn these 10 flashcards. Alright, you learn these 10 flashcards, and what's cool is that after you're done with these 10 flashcards, after a week, you're done learning these 10 flashcards, don't just drop them, go and add another 10. So what you're doing is that every week you're starting another 10 flashcards, and over time you're going to be increasing your study set. And what this is going to do is that the first week 20, and the next week you could do 40, and the next week you do 60, and so on. This makes sure that you're handling a small workload. For example, you do 20, you learn only 20 new words a week. So there's continuity in the sense that you're still including the old words, but there's still that small workload in the sense that you're only adding 20 new words a week. And what's cool about Quizlet is that you don't only have to memorize in this flashcard format. I remember when I was doing this, I would play match. So in match, what you can do is, it's a game, right? And again, you can play with only the starred ones. And what you do is you have to match this word with the correct English equivalent or the Spanish equivalent. Now, I don't know any Spanish, so I'm really matching, I'm just shooting and hoping something would stick, but obviously nothing's working. You can learn in a really cool way, I find at least. Obviously, this is not going to help anyone, this one that I've made, but what you do is you learn by starring, and you just increase your starred items over time. Okay, so a good tip is to do this in your spare time. Alright, you download the Quizlet app on your phone, right? Like it keeps on telling me, download this Quizlet app and try it out whenever you're stuck in traffic or you have a few minutes to spare. The point is, you make sure you cross out all the words you need to remember by the end of the week, and make sure that if you can't handle 20 words, decrease it. But if you can handle more, increase it. So you only learn what you're capable of, and it actually enters your head instead of stress memorizing and forgetting everything. Alright, so let me tell you about how much of an impact this had on me. because I started this late, right? I I made a collection of like 60 words from my language B in one night for my mock exams. But even then, right? I did it in one day, I did it in the morning, and the night I just went through memorizing mode. I had never felt that confident for my language B exam before. And it's funny because I was so busy studying for other subjects in my IB exam that I didn't get to do this again for my IB exam. And the worst part is that I didn't even have the time to memorize my 60 words that I did for my mock exams. So I didn't do this. And honestly, I was so not confident for my IB exam. It's so crazy how learning these words makes such a big difference in the way you enter the exam. Because these are IB words, right? These are words, these are not IB words, but they come up more in your IB exam because they're associated with the topics that the IB focuses on. So, because learning past paper words are associated with these topics, by learning these past paper words, you're learning the topic words, which are the words you want to learn because they help you understand past paper words. And this ends up being a cycle that really helps you. So, if you could take away anything from this video, it'd be this. Open up all your past papers, do 5, 6 years, whatever to your last syllabus change. Open them up, highlight every single word you don't know. After you do that, put them all on Quizlet with their English equivalent. Start the first 20, add per week. And what you're doing is you're going to be learning the right type of words that are associated with the themes in your course. And hopefully, just hopefully, it's going to make you that much more effective in your exam. Okay, remember, the hardest part will just be typing it on Quizlet. After that, it's all smooth sailing, just about playing games and memorizing. And trust me, that initial hard work pays off big. Okay, hope that helped. Take care.